Hey Jesse, what type of gear do you use? What type of camera or lens or lighting or audio equipment do you prefer as a content creator? What about your design gear? What's your desk like? Are you an Apple or a PC user? What type of mouse and keyboard? You're probably a mechanical keyboard user, am I right? Do you use a laptop or a desktop? I get questions all the time about the type of gear that I use, and I use a lot of gear, and I'm constantly upgrading and changing the type of gear that I use. So in this video, I'm gonna show you some of my favorite pieces of gear, the type of things that I use every single day, the equipment that I use as a designer and as a content creator. All right, first thing we're gonna talk about is content creation gear. That's something I get asked about all the time. And so we're gonna talk about all the different gear that I use to make YouTube videos and other types of content. And let's start off by talking about the camera. I have had a lot of different cameras over the years. I started with little Canon point and shoot and then moved to Panasonic cameras, but I sold all of that and my wife sold all of her gear, and we collectively went in on a big batch of Sony gear. And so we work in the Sony ecosystem of cameras. This is the Sony a7 III. I absolutely love and adore this camera because it's perfect for all types of content creation. On here is a 72mm lens. I don't use this one very much. I use the one that is on the camera currently that I'm shooting with, and that is a 24mm with a 1.4 depth of field. That gives me this kind of shallow depth of field with a blurred background. 24mm gives me a nice wide field of view, and I use this setup mainly for talking head videos, introductions, outros, and stuff like this, more interview style talking head videos. Which leads me to my first caveat when it comes to content creation gear. I have an entire desk set up that's a different Sony camera, different lens, different microphone from everything I'm about to show you, and that is all part of my desk setup, which we will talk about later. But there's kind of two setups. This office that I'm in, this studio, I use kind of like a content creation studio. So this is kind of like one spot to shoot, and I have other spots like my couch and a few other areas, but my desk is a big one for screencasts, live streaming, and kind of like design focused content creation. So I'll tell you all about that setup in a little bit. All right, next up, let's talk about microphones. For 5 years straight, I have used pretty much one microphone. I tried a bunch of others, but none of them compared to a Rode shotgun mic. This is the Rode, I forget, this was like the Rode Shotgun Mic Pro or something like this. It's 5 years old, and it just, as I started trying to film this video, after about 5 years, it finally started falling apart. You can see the wires started kind of like fringing and not working. So I've had this microphone, this little, I think it was $90. I bought it on Craigslist years ago. This shotgun microphone for 5 years, and it has done the trick throughout. I love Rode microphones. I've tried a few other different types, but Rode has always stuck with me as a really great brand to work with. They're really reliable, this thing, for 5 years. I've tried also things like Rode lav mics, and I'm not really a lav mic person, I learned. I tried this little lav mic Pro or something like that. It's not really for me. I don't like having one on me. So what I'm actually doing is I have bought the newest version of the Rode Shotgun Mic Pro Plus, which is like the new and improved, better version of this shotgun mic. It's what I currently have, and I boom my microphone into view. You could actually see, I'm just gonna do something really awkward, just pull it down right here. You can see this is my Rode shotgun mic, and I have it boomed overhead usually, but for this shot I'll just show you. This one is really cool. It's the new improved one that turns on and off with the camera, so you don't waste any battery. It's got this nice big pop filter kind of thing over it, and that's what I do. I boom my microphone in overhead or underneath, so I get a nice crisp clear sound, and it's going directly into the camera. I don't use any sort of like smaller like memory card driven audio stuff. This gets really crisp clear audio for me in this type of interview setup. So the Rode Mic Pro Plus, the newest one, that's what I'm loving right now. All right, let's talk next about lighting. Obviously, you have to have good lights. It just makes or breaks a shot, in my opinion, when you're creating content like this. I've done lots of different lighting options. I've tried different things, LED panels, cheap little battery operated ones, but the ones that I've kind of really come to rely on are these. These are the newer SL60W lights. They're a nice big LED light that has this beautiful panel back here where you can control the power of the light. They plug in and it's just a simple switch on or off. They're really quiet, and they produce this really nice light. In this setup, I'm currently using one light, and it's placed directly to the left of the camera, so I'm getting a single source or key light, and I let the ambient light in the room just kind of be my fill, and that works for me. The only reason I'm able to do this, I think, is because I've dialed in the settings on my camera, and I have every window pretty much with dark blinds down, so it allows me to really control the light in the room. I have white walls for the majority. Besides this wall over here, everything's white, so I get some nice reflective light, and this works really well for me. I have a second one just in case I need it, but these lights are killer. They're dependable. I throw them on some stands. I don't even know what the brand of the stand is. It doesn't really matter, but they articulate and adjust any way I want them. And the reason I'm getting this nice soft light is because if I lit one of these things up, it would be like a spotlight. It would be insane. The reason I'm getting such nice lighting is because I'm using really nice big lighting umbrellas like this. These are constant lights that have this diffused umbrella on them, but they basically fold out. This one folds up and down, and it is massive. I don't use this one as much. I use these little stock ones that kind of stay in their form. And so whenever I want to, film a video, all I got to do is put the camera up, boom the microphone in, and then I just pop the light in one spot, kind of angling down at myself, and I get this set up for video creation, which I'm not saying is the best, but it works pretty good for me. There's a couple of small bits and bobs that I think are really important. One of them is a nice tripod. So I'm using a Bonphoto B690A. It doesn't really matter. It's just a really solid, nice tripod that has a lot of articulation and adjustments that can be made with it. And then the other thing I couldn't live without is this little 4K monitor that I have sitting right down here. So here's my lens and here's my monitor. The Sony a7 IIIs don't have a flip up screen or anything I can see myself in to frame the shot. And so this is super helpful to constantly have running. I do have to charge batteries for this thing and make sure that it's up to date and ready to go. It was a worthwhile investment so that I can quickly, because I'm self-producing all these videos, get set up and start making content. So this setup for me works really, really well, and that's my content creation setup. Next up, let's go look at my desk. Okay, and this is my desk setup. So I'm gonna get really detailed and show you everything, but I wanted to give you kind of a wide shot of my desk. This is an IKEA sit-stand desk. I've had it for like 4 years now, and it still works. It raises, it goes down, and it works perfectly. I spend, I don't know, maybe 70% sitting and 30% standing. So it's a good desk. On it, it looks very cluttered, but it looks better than it used to. I actually have a 32-inch LG ultra-wide monitor. Over there, I have my MacBook Pro on a rain stand, which I'll show you here more in a second. And then right over here, I have an iMac, and mounted underneath this desk, I actually have a PC gaming / streaming computer. So there's a lot of hardware here. And I'm gonna get into why I have so much. But one thing to notice is back behind my desk, I've installed 3 large custom soundproofing panels because I spend so much time at this desk kind of speaking at the monitor with a microphone setup that I have over here and a lighting setup that I have right over here, which I'll show you here in a second. Because I spend so much time doing that and I'm basically talking at the wall, I installed these 3 big soundproof panels, and they've really reduced the amount of echo and noise and reverberation or whatever you want to call it coming off that wall back at me. That was a huge thing that happened at the end of 2021, I think. And now let's go kind of explore a little bit more in depth all the pieces of the gear that are here on my desk. Okay, this is a huge part of my setup. This is my immediate desk setup. I work primarily on this center screen right here. I use this iMac over on the other right-hand side that I spoke about earlier for specific clients that require me to work on that computer. The large majority of the time, I'm working off of my laptop here, mixed with this 27-inch monitor. So, if I need to open up a design tool, like I'm probably gonna do the majority of my designing right here. Nice, big, spacious screen. Love that. And it's sitting on top of this amazing piece of gear from a company called GroveMade. GroveMade sent me this awesome piece, as well as some of the peripherals, like for instance, this amazing laptop stand that I have over here is also from GroveMade. And then I have this great felt keyboard pad here that goes on my desk. That's also from GroveMade. Just kind of completes the setup, the look, the vibe. It's all really, really nice. And over on that right-hand side, just over here, I have, as an extension of this amazing GroveMade thing, I have this awesome little drawer set up so I can hide a few things in there. You know, remotes, extra mouse for like different computers, some other stuff. So that's a really awesome thing right there. I can't recommend something like this, especially this one made from GroveMade. The quality is really nice. It lifts everything up off the desk. I could put some other peripheral items down here, like live streaming, like stream decks and, you know, different like LED lights and a few things underneath. So it's just really clean for the amount of stuff that's on this desk, which is a lot, like a big 27-inch iMac, a 34-inch or 2 or 4-inch monitor, a laptop, cameras, everything. This thing has been very, very helpful. So thank you to GroveMade for sending that to me. Let's see, a huge part of this setup, and this is where I do a lot of live streaming and filming of videos, is this camera setup, as well as the light next to it. So let me show you that real quick. Okay, let's talk about this streaming setup that I have here. Really often I need to sit down and I need to live stream. I need to record things quickly or even have meetings. And to do that, I couldn't keep moving gear around my office. So I have that previous setup that I told you about before. But what I have over here is a specific desk setup for, like I said, live streaming, meetings, and recording screencasts. And that includes this Sony a6400 that when I move my laptop, you can see I have mounted on an articulating kind of like tripod back here. So I can actually grab that and I can move it around any way I need to. And so there's always a camera mounted. The a6400 has a screen, a flip-up screen, so I can position myself correctly. So that's the a6400, super nice. The quality is not quite as nice, in my opinion, as the a7 III that I'm shooting on right here, but the a6400 does offer just really, really nice quality, even up to 4K while you're live streaming, which is nuts. I have it hooked into a constant power supply, so I can do a 3-hour live stream if I want to, and not worry about battery life. And it's all hooked up to this thing. Now, the other thing that really makes or breaks this whole setup is the lighting, which I have a remote to, and you can see that it is hooked up right here behind the a6400. So all I have to do is on another articulating arm, I just move this thing around and position it exactly how I want, and I can turn it on or off. I can also change the lighting of it. I can change it to be more white light or more tungsten light. So lots of lighting control here. And this is all built using a TV mount, an articulating TV mount that has one pole coming up from the back right over here. And then it has multiple horizontal arms that can articulate around and move exactly where I need them to be. So this has drastically changed the way that I do live streaming, content creation. It's a super helpful desk setup. I'll try to get back behind there and show you some B-roll of it, but it's been really, really helpful to have. All right, I've moved over to a vlogging rig, which is very heavy, so it might be a little shaky. I apologize, but I want to try to give you the biggest bird's eye view I can of this desk setup. Again, iMac there, giant screen in the middle, and the laptop over here on the GroveMade stand. All the desk setup down here. I got like controls for lighting, multiple keyboards and mouse because I got so many computers going on. But this actually is the Logitech MX Keys and MX Master. I really, really like this keyboard and mouse setup. It's been very good to me. It allows me to switch quickly between all the different computers I have with this 1, 2, and 3 programmable computer section here. So it's all Bluetooth, really, really smooth. But you can see how easy it is for me to just kind of easily move lights in and out, move that over. I have a Shure SM7B microphone that is on a low profile swiveling mic stand. Allows me to put it in place just like that and shoot. So there would be something like a little bit of a desk setup for me as I'm shooting videos or live streaming. And as soon as I'm done, which is awesome, I can just swivel this back and away and then move this thing back like so. And a lot of times I just kind of face it towards the wall. And then when I pop my laptop screen up like this, it hides a lot of the mess anyways. So that is that complex desk setup. It has made live streaming in my life just a whole lot easier. Now let's take you down and over to the PC, which is a nightmare. Okay, so I'm gonna disappear off camera and just kind of point at a few things here because we are now getting down to the PC. So when I walk around the left-hand side of my desk, hidden behind all of this, down here I have my Google Nest Wi-Fi and all that stuff. But down below, I have a PC that is mounted up under this desk. And the reason it's mounted because it's a sit-stand desk. So I need to be able to stand up. So when I stand up, the whole thing whoop, rises together. I have a serious cable management issue back here. It is a rat's nest, to say the least. So I need to figure out a way to manage my cables better. But the reason I have this PC is because I have it super tricked out with everything that I need to live stream and do a lot of video editing on this machine. It's a lot more powerful than, you know, my MacBook Pro and maybe even my iMac. So, and you can see I have this under basket that has a lot of cord management, but just still not enough. So I got to figure out how to do cord management a little bit better. All right, well, that's it. That is the gear that I love, the gear that I use, the gear that I kind of recommend even if you are starting to set up a desk space or content creation. This is the gear that I think would work for just about anybody. If you're looking for links, check those down in the description. They are affiliate links that would help out the channel. So let me know if you want to click on one of those. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to answer as many of them as I can. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that little bell notification icon so you know when more videos about design and content creation and business and life happen. You'll be notified when they come out. I hope you're having an amazing week. Hope you're designing amazing things. Hope you're making amazing things. And I hope you're finding the gear that makes your life easier. We'll see you in the next one.